You got to learn how to turn in your work on time and not be tardy. Anybody have problems with turning in late work? Like, be honest. That boy Chris was like, yes. Yeah. All right. So what happens when you turn in your work late? You get points off? All right. So what happens if my business turn in late work to my client? You say what? They don't pay me, right? What happens if they don't pay me? I can't pay my rent. Like, it gets real. Like right now, it's like, hey, I ain't turning this work. Oh, you get 5 points off. All right, cool. I made 85, whatever. Like, no, I turn in a late assignment to my client. They don't want to pay me. I literally can't live, right? So that's something you'll quickly learn about entrepreneurship, is that you have to be an adult and make yourself do the things that you don't want to do. That's what this quote down here says. Anybody have trouble getting up in the morning? Like, mama got to come like 4 times, hey, let's go, right? And you just don't want to wake up, right? Let me tell you this. Hey, pipe back down. Let me tell you this, that never goes away. I'm 25, I try to be as super disciplined as possible. I wake up at 4:30 every morning, and it doesn't get any easier. No matter if you're 15, 25, or 45, you don't want to get up in the morning. So once you get to your dorm room or once you start your job, it's all about being a parent, being an adult to yourself and making you get up, right? That's a huge key to entrepreneurship, because you don't have a boss. You are the boss. So you got to make the boss get up if you want to be a boss. In high school and my first 2 years of college, I was doing freelance videography work. Anybody know what freelance work is? Anybody? Yeah, you kind of work by yourself. You're not really a business. Basically, you're working project to project. So say if you were a painter of houses, you kind of went to her house and like, hey, can I paint your house? She give you a couple of dollars. Hey, can I paint your house? A couple of dollars. Hey, can I paint your house? A couple of dollars. So I was going from place to place doing these little small gigs. I was doing music videos and basically anything that someone would pay me to film, I was filming it. That's what I was doing from my junior year of high school up until like my sophomore year of college. While at college, they offered internships and things of that nature. I tried it out and I was like, it's not for me. I got one job for 3 months. I was like, okay, this is really not for me. And so I got with my now business partner, who was just a friend that was helping me on those freelance gigs. I was like, hey, let's start a company. So our junior going into our senior year of college, we started Aume Motion Arts LLC. That's what you see on the shirt. That's what you see up there. And we are a full service video production company. Before I go into exactly what we do, I have a couple Instagram flex pictures up here. You got to talk about the Instagram flex pictures. Anybody know who this guy is? I know you guys are far. We don't have the projector up, but any idea? People in this front row? You've seen them before? Where you seen them at? On Shark Tank. Yes. So this guy right here is Mark Cuban. Anybody know who Mark Cuban is? Yeah. Who is Mark Cuban? He owns the Dallas Mavericks. He owns the basketball team and like part of the arena and all that good stuff. Anybody know how much Mark Cuban is worth? Or can take a guess? More than me. How much? How much?
I don't know. Isn't it like 92 billion?
Oh, not that much. That's like Jeff Bezos. He's worth $4 billion, which is still a lot of money. So I've been able to shake hands with 3 billionaires, which is pretty cool. Anybody know who this guy is over here? So why entrepreneurship? For me, growing up right at the poverty line as a minority family, single mother, we were always in survival mode and never really owned anything. So the apartment that we lived in, the car that we drove, literally the couch that we sat on, the TV we watched, it was all like rent-a-center and stuff like that. And so we never owned anything. So when I had a chance to own my own business and to be able to create something that I can pass down to whether it's my kids or my nephews and nieces, I took that opportunity to do it. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to own my own business, because we never owned anything growing up, right? The next thing I have on there is it's a new office every day. So anybody ever heard of the term corporate America? Corporate America. So what's corporate America? What's corporate America?
I don't know what it is I heard of before.
All right, you raise your hand back there as well. Corporate America. What's corporate America? You said what? You just stretching? I think no. You raise your hand right here in the blue jacket.
Yeah, I've heard of it before. Like my dad, he's very political. So he's talked to me about it before, but I don't remember exactly what it is.
Okay. So corporate America is just like a broad term for your people who work in the office buildings and the cubicles in the big buildings downtown. All right. So that's kind of your idea of corporate America. And for me, having the same office every day and being in corporate America wasn't something that intrigued me. You know, going to work every day in a suit and tie and sitting in the cubicle. Contrary to what I have on right now, I'm normally like a joggers and sneakers type of guy. Like I have way more sneakers than dress shoes in my closet. So I wanted an environment that I could dress like that and be myself in. And what's good about entrepreneurship, you have a new office every day. I have a new client as a new boss every day. I don't have the same boss every day. I've worked on top of rooftops. I've worked in different countries. I've worked in different cities. And every day is a new challenge, a new experience. And that's one thing I like about entrepreneurship. The next thing I have on here is entrepreneurship. There's a direct correlation between the work you put in and your outcome. Anybody want to tell me what they think that means? I'm going to wait till somebody asks. No, you talked enough. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, like, depends on how much work, like, how much effort you put into something.
Yep.
Like, if you put a lot of effort and you try your best at something, you're going to get a good outcome. But
Yep.
like, if you don't even try, you do a poor job,
Yep.
the outcome is going to come out bad.
Yep. That's exactly right. And outcome could be the success of your business. Outcome could be the money that you bring in from your business. So I have an example. My older brother, he works for AT&T. He installs cable, like AT&T U-verse. I'm sure some of you probably have AT&T Universe at your house. And if there was 2 guys installing cable for that day, say if there was 100 jobs, if my brother did 99 and his coworker did 1, they get paid the same for that day. It didn't work like that in entrepreneurship. If I did 99 jobs, I'm going to get paid like I did 99 jobs. If I only did 1 and had poor work ethic, as Chris, right? As Chris said, you're going to get paid for 1 job. So I actually like that. I like having that responsibility to go out there and reap what I sow. If I put in 99 jobs worth of work, I get paid accordingly, right? That sounds fair, right? So that's kind of how entrepreneurship works. Any questions so far? I'm going to ask that like after every slide because I want you guys to talk to me. That's why I keep like trying to talk to you guys. But cool. No questions yet? No. All right, cool. You over here, boy. You grinning, bro? No, you good. All right. So what have I learned from business? The first thing that I learned from business was discipline. So it was a couple people that wanted to own their own business, right? Raise your hand if you wanted to own your own business. Nathan. Oh, well, like a lot of you guys, right? So have you ever heard the phrase that I want to own my own business so I can be my own boss? So I don't have to have a boss. Well, guess what? If you don't have a boss, you don't have anyone to hold you accountable. You don't have anyone to be like, hey, you need to finish this on time, or hey, you need to show up on time, or hey, you need to do this. Guess who has to make you do all that stuff? You, right? So that's one thing about owning your own business. You have to have that self-discipline, right? So a little bit of a side tangent. Who wants to go to college in here? All right? So, and if you don't want to go to college, that's fine too. Like, especially if you want to be an entrepreneur, that's fine too. But for my people who want to go to college, they're going to offer you online classes. Anybody know anybody that's ever taken an online class? Right? Has anybody taken an online class before? Probably not, because y'all are 9th graders. Oh, shit. So having an online class is very much like owning a business. You have to be self-motivated. There's no teacher that's going to be like, hey, I need you to write those 5 things that you learned from that speaker and like turn it in after class and we're going to go over this lecture. That's not it. When you take an online class, they're gonna be like, hey, this is material, here's the test, pass it. And that's all it is. So if you're not super self-motivated, when you get to college or when you get to like junior and senior year, stay away from the online classes. However, if you are super motivated, take all the online classes you can because you don't actually have to go to class, so you can make money. Right? And so for me, I took a lot of online classes in college and I was able to graduate a semester early because of it. So. Another thing is, what have I learned from business? To do the dirty work. So I know he said like he likes to do clothing, right? If he wants to own a clothing company or he wants to own a soccer merchandising company, that's only going to be about 30% of what he does every day because you are an entrepreneur. So he's going to have to do the invoicing. He's going to have to do the contracts, the proposals, the client procurement, the marketing, the sales. When you're an entrepreneur, especially starting out by yourself, you have to do all of those things. So actually doing what you're passionate about, it's only going to be about 30%, a third of what you're going to do on a daily basis. So you have to make sure you really love what you do because you got to put up with all this other crap that you really don't want to do when you first start your business, right? That makes sense? That makes sense? And the last thing I have on there, it kind of goes hand in hand with discipline, is that you have to be an adult. That taught me how to be an adult really quick, being in business, because you got to learn all the basic skills. You got to learn how to get up and get to somewhere on time. You got to learn how to turn in your work on time and not be tardy. Anybody have problems with turning in late work? All right, be honest. That boy Chris was like, yes. Yeah. All right, so what happens when you turn in your work late? You get points off? All right, so what happens if my business turn in late work to my client? You say what? They don't pay me, right? What happens if they don't pay me? I can't pay my rent. Like, it gets real. Like right now, it's like, hey, I ain't turning this work. Oh, you get 5 points off. All right, cool, I made 85, whatever. Like, no, I turn in a late assignment to my client. They don't want to pay me. I literally can't live, right? So that's something you'll quickly learn about entrepreneurship, is that you have to be an adult and make yourself do the things that you don't want to do. That's what this quote down here says. Anybody have trouble getting up in the morning? Like, mama got to come like 4 times, hey, let's go, right? And you just don't want to wake up, right? Let me tell you this. Hey, pipe back down. Let me tell you this, that never goes away. I'm 25. I try to be as super disciplined as possible. I wake up at 4:30 every morning, and it doesn't get any easier. No matter if you're 15, 25, or 45, you don't want to get up in the morning. So once you get to your dorm room or once you start your job, it's all about being a parent, being an adult to yourself, and making you get up, right? That's a huge key to entrepreneurship, because you don't have a boss. You are the boss. So you got to make the boss get up if you want to be a boss. So school may not teach you everything that you need to know about business, but it will teach you willpower. So I know we're in the business cluster, so you have BIM, you got finance and IT and entrepreneurship. School won't teach you everything that you need to know to have a successful business, but it will teach you about willpower. It will teach you how to turn assignments in on time. It will tell you how to not be tardy. It will tell you how to do all of those basic skills. And I actually had I was doing a panel to a group of students like this at UNT, and one of the young ladies asked me what was my key to having a successful creative business, and it has nothing to do with being creative. It has everything to do with actually getting my client to work on time. So it sounds super basic, but if you go and read my reviews on like Google for my company or Facebook or thumbtack.com, they're all about, oh my God, Michael was so professional and he emailed me back on time and he answered his phone and blah, blah, blah. And it has nothing was like, that was a dope video. None of them say that. They're all about those basic skills. So you can learn that willpower here now. And so, for example, if you're into computers, or I think somebody said they wanted to own their own restaurant and have a bakery, you're gonna be like, I'm not learning anything about owning a restaurant in English class, so like screw English class, but it's still teaching you how to be a good adult, how to turn stuff in, how to show up on time, and that's really important. All right, make sense? A lot of times when I talk to young adults or teenager, whoever wants to start a business, about what do they need to start a business, people are like, hey man, I need a website, I need business cards, I need a business plan, I need cool t-shirts, I need an actual store to put my clothes in or my soccer merch. You don't need any of that stuff. In my opinion, you need one thing to start a business. That one thing is someone to pay you for what you do or what you made. That's all you need to start a business. For someone to pay you for what you do or what you made, right? Because if you don't have anybody paying you for what you do or what you made, you really just have a cool idea and like a cool website. But to have a business, you got to have people to pay you for what you do or what you make. The next thing I have is the idea of low-hanging fruit, all right? So if I ask, what's your name? Lexus? All right, if I ask him, go over there, it's an apple tree, pull an apple down and bring it back to me. Is he gonna climb the tree and pick the highest apple, or is he gonna walk up to the apple that's right here, pull it down and give it to me? Which one is he gonna do? The lowest one, all right? So a lot of times when people start business, they try to go and solicit their service or their product. Anybody know what the word solicit means? Say that again?
Like, do your best to go like to extreme?
Not quite.
Like make the whole foundation just done, like have everything ready.
Not quite. What you gonna say?
Like advertise like in front of like stores and stuff.
Yes, that's the closest one. So soliciting is like those annoying people that come to your door and be like, hey, you want to buy this piece of paper? And you're like, no, leave. That's soliciting, right? And that's going all the way to the top of the tree to pick an apple when you already have low-hanging fruit. What I mean by the low-hanging fruit that you pull is trying to sell to people that you can physically touch. So like your extended family, so like your cousin or like your second cousin, or even like your mom's coworker or your teacher or people at church or at this organization that you're in. Sell to people that you can physically touch, that has a personal relationship with you, because they'll buy from you not necessarily because of the product or the service that you offer because you're new to this. They're buying it because of that personal relationship that they have with you. All right, so that makes sense. So when you're ready to start your bakery, which you can start tomorrow in your kitchen, get some ingredients and whip it on up, them cookies, like, don't try to go door to door and, hey, you want to buy these cookies? They might, but it'll be way easier. Hey, mom, take this to your car worker. Tell them to buy it, and they're going to buy it because they're going to know you and your mom, right? So start with that low-hanging fruit. Make sense? Yes? That must be really good. You guys have no questions. Everybody's so attentive. No one's on their phone. Like, I'm balling. Appreciate it. All right, sweat equity. Sweat equity is my cool, fancy way of saying do stuff for cheap, or not even cheap, do stuff for free. Sweat equity, do stuff for free. When you first start a business, you're going to want to have to build your portfolio. And so to build your portfolio or your work that you have, you're going to have to do some things for free. All right? And even right now, as a established business, if Nike came to me, like the shoe company Nike, was like, hey, Micah, I want you to do videos for me, but you need to do them for free. I'm going to do them for free because it's Nike, right? And so once you do Nike video, they're the top of the food chain. Once companies see I did a video for Nike, then they're going to want to do a video with me because it's monkey see, monkey do. If Nike did it with this guy, then I should do it with this guy, and then that's when you charge them and you get your bag, all right? So you got to put in some work up front for free. Even now, I want to be a public speaker, so I'm at schools and different organizations speaking for free to build my portfolio to say, hey, I've had 100 speaking engagements this year, and then when people start to call me, I'm like, hey, I got 100 speaking engagements, they give me my back, then I go speak, all right? So you got to do some things for free up front. Make sense? Make sense? All right, and then the last thing, building relationships. The way that I'm here right now speaking for Dr. Edwards' class is a relationship that I built with her daughter 5 years ago. That's what it's about in business. It's all about making relationships on your phone, you know, whether that's through social media or in person, face to face. It's all about making relationships, not burning bridges. A lot of times people, especially in business, worry about how much this one client can pay me. Like, hey man, you can only give me $200. Like, oh man, that's below my budget or whatever, right? But it's about the lifetime value of a client in business. So yes, he can only pay me $200, but he gonna refer me to her. She gonna give me $200. He gonna refer her $200. And by the time I get to the back of the room, I got like $4,000. And so that's what's important in business. All about building relationships with each and every one of you, and then you get your bag. All right? Any questions? Somebody got a question? I'm not going on until you get a question. I'll sit here. Mind blown? Yes, ma'am. And so, yeah, if you wanted to do computer programming, if you wanted to do photography, videography, you can do it all from your palm of your hand now because your phones are so good. I actually started off with a Nikon D3100. It was a little $300 camera that I put on layaway at Best Buy. I don't even think Best Buy does layaway anymore. But that's how I got my first camera. And I did videos with that camera until it got stolen at my high school parking lot. I'm still salty. They broke in my car. But I got really nicer cameras now that cost as much as my car. So I'm good. Any other questions? Say that again. I couldn't even hear you. Yeah, period. Mic drop. Boom. Anybody? One more question before we go on. One more question. Come on. Somebody. Anybody. Not all at once. Come on. In entrepreneurship, you have to be obsessed with your passion, whether that's soccer, whether that's clothing, whether that's a restaurant, or whether that's whatever you decide to do. You have to be obsessed because it goes back to all of that other work that you have to do that's not focused around your passion, right? So I actually had a client of mine. I went and met her one day, and I was in business for about 1.5 years at the time, and she was like, you know you got to be insane to be a business owner, right? And I was like, oh, well, thanks for the motivation. So you kind of got to be insane to be a business owner. That's not a bad thing. It's just an is what it is thing. The reason why people say that is because you're going to end up working 70 to 80 hours a week to avoid working for someone for 40 hours a week. That does not make logical sense. But if you want to be an entrepreneur and work for yourself, that's the type of hours and the type of commitment that you have to put in. And the only way that you can do that is if you're infatuated with your business, right? So I'm sure we've had crushes in here before, right? You don't have to raise your hand, but just nod your heads. You've had crushes. You've had a crush on someone. All right. So owning a business is kind of like that. You kind of got to have this infatuation with your business. It has to be on your mind all the time. Like when you have a crush on someone, it's like, oh, she's so awesome. And you just kind of think about it all the time. Like when you wake up, it's like, oh, like when you go to school, like, oh, I'm gonna see her next period. Like you kind of got that on your mind the entire time. That's how you have to be with business. You have to like be flirting with your business. Because if not, as soon as your business does something bad or you have to do some type of obstacle overcoming, you're going to be ready to quit because it is tough. But if you're infatuated with it and it's like, oh my gosh, she's so pretty, then you'll get over that obstacle for your business. That makes sense? So there's a quote up here that says, a man is not doing much until his work possesses all of them. And I don't mean like don't have a work-life balance. Please have a work-life balance because that's healthy. But I'm always thinking about my passion. I don't even like the word work because work sounds like something you really don't want to do. But when you talk about passion or craft or fun, you want to do that all the time. Like soccer or clothing or baking, that's not like work for you. That's like, I want to go home and do more of that. And that's how it is with me with video production and business. I want to go home and do more of that. So it possesses all of me. I'm constantly thinking about it all the time. Got you. So here we go. Same question from earlier. I think from like the same chair. This is good. All right. So I'm going to give you guys a long answer because I think it worked well for the last time. So write this down. Parkinson's law. Parkinson law. L-A-W. Parkinson's law. Parkinson's law states work fills the time allotted to complete it. Fills. Work.
Say it slowly.
Yeah, I got you. Work fills the time allotted to complete it. I'll say it again. I'm say it a couple times. It's fine. Work fills the time allotted to complete it. Allotted. Basically, the time given to complete it. Work fills the time allotted to So work fills the time allotted to complete it. That's what Parkinson's law means. So if I come to her and say, hey, I have an essay for you, it's due in 2 weeks, how long is it going to take her to do the essay?
2 weeks.
All right, if I say, hey, same exact essay, you have 2 months to do it, how long is it going to take her to do the essay? 2 months. All right, so we have this belief as young people, myself included, that we need more time to do the work. Like, Miz, just give me an essay extension. That's not true. We have to figure out how to do more work in less time. One of my ways to do more work in less time is to compartmentalize and add more stuff to my schedule. So she said, how do I balance work-life balance? Is by having allotted times to have time with the girlfriend or to have time with the family, right? So if you say, hey, I got to hang out with the girlfriend at 7 and hang out with the rest of the family at 9, your work can't bleed into that. I can't procrastinate because you don't want to make the girlfriend mad and you don't want to make the family mad either, right? So if you have more work, I got to do all of these things today, you can't procrastinate because I have to get them all done by the end of the day, no exceptions. So that's one of my ways of having that work-life balance is saying like, hey, I got to have a balance. So that means I gotta finish the work, no choices. And the way that I finish my work is that I know it's gonna take the time allotted to complete it. So I don't say, hey, I'm gonna have 8 hours to do this assignment. I got 4, so I gotta finish it in 4. I block out distractions, I'll turn off the cell phone, I go in my room or whatever I gotta do to make sure I get it done in that 4 because at 7, the girlfriend or the family or whatever the case may be, and like I said, you don't wanna make them mad.